All right. C1x Road to launch, day 30. I think it's day 30. Been a couple days since my last video. Took a little break over the weekend. Did some work on securing the database for C1x, which is something I wanted to do off video anyways, because otherwise that kind of defeats the point of securing it. But the database is now secure. I had to set up an alternative method for reading the values for my own logging into that spreadsheet that I went over a couple videos ago. Just because with the way that I've secured it, I can't do it through a simulator anymore, which is how I was intending to do it initially, but that's probably better anyways. It'll make it less commenting and uncommenting out code that I have to do when I'm reading values. So database is now secure. Turku Open happened this past weekend. Did C1x reports for one round each day for that tournament. So those are all up on the YouTube channel as well. I assume if you see this, you can see those as well. And then I spent some time. Next up on the list was new stats. We'd gotten them in the app, loosely in the app, in a previous video, but they didn't quite look right. I spent a couple hours this morning adjusting some things, not doing too much work because I wanted to try and keep most of it on video. But all of this is going to look roughly the same until we get down to here. And this is where I started to move some stuff around. So trying to, as of right now, just group similar graphic styles together. So we have the throws versus putts and putting distances. When I implemented these in the last video, the calculations for these, I didn't think the calculations were working. It turns out it was just the structure of the variables that I was passing. So it actually wasn't a very large change. I did have to add this segment labels argument. Let's, just because I'm nervous about the screen capture freezing on me again, let's go clear this out real quick. That'll give me a little bit more room. Had to add this segment labels argument on my stat organization file to some of these statistics for these whole segments with the whole scoring graph. Each one of these is an individual statistic that I'm tracking. So I have ace frequency is just the aces, eagle frequency just the eagles, etc. But with the throws versus putts, or the putting distances, I was tracking that in a single statistic, and there were some structural issues there that I needed to account for. So these might be calculating correctly. I still want to go double check the calculations. That's first on the list. But grouping these together, at least, the values are at least coming through, which is nice. On our new stats here, this was basically the same thing, just grouping them together. I do think I want to add some explanations for these. Scramble, I think, is pretty self-explanatory, but like birdie conversion in C2, conversion in C1, putting comebacks, defining what exactly those mean. That is something I would like to iron out. Move the strokes, average strokes a whole up here. We've got front nine, back nine, C2 bonus down here as well, and then streaks is still at the very bottom. And those are showing in the individual round summaries as well. So still got some work to do, but started to make some minor improvements this morning just to get moving on it. Wasn't in a position where I could film it, but we are now. So step one is going to be going through the calculations for all of these new stats. So I might just go down them in this order. Throws versus putts. That would actually probably be, I can probably just verify that one right here, because that should just be totaling C1 and C2 putts, and then subtracting throws from it. So we've got 1, 2, is this all one? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120, 121, 122, 123, 124, 125, 126, 127, 128, 1 30 putts. Does not look like the math is adding up. Oh, no, it is. I was thinking of the all stats numbers, but I've got 30 putts there, and I've got 61 strokes. So 51% and 49% is probably pretty accurate. Let's go double check one more. These were rounds from my tournament this past weekend at Utah State's. This was my worst round. You can tell 30 putts. It's not a good putting day. Yeah. This round I think might look a little bit better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 putts. It was a 51, so it's 28 to 23. It's probably about right. Yeah, about 55%. Okay. 28 throws. Looks like throws versus putts is actually calculating properly, which is nice. I was thinking when I'm displaying these stats, specifically these whole segmented ones, I like showing the percentage in the bar. It might be nice to show the actual number to the side as well. Be nice to know, like on an 18-hole course, how many putts did I actually take? 23 putts in this round versus 30. And the Brighton, the percentages don't always convey everything that I want them to. So having the actual total might be nice. Anyways, so here's solely for calculations right now that we'll focus on that. Circle 2 putts. This one, how do I want to verify that? I mean, it looks like it's close. I've got in this round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 circle 2 putts total. 5 circle 2 putts total. Here I've got 73, 95%. So this is 5%. These add up to 95. So I assume the 22 to 33 is 5%. How many C2 putts did I just say I had? Only 5. And there were 23 putts total. So 22%. Okay. So it looks like the putting distances are calculating properly as well. At least the circle 2 one is. I'll go double check and we can make sure that that I'm at least calculating them the same way. All right, total putting distance counts. Putt distances log for each value plus equal to temp array. So let's go look at that putt distances log, which should be in this individual stats. Yep. All right, they all equal 0 for all labels. For each shot in a shot sequence, if putt distance options contains it, and then for each distance, if shot sequence shot is equal to. I wonder if this is actually. No, I don't think it's excessive. This is probably the cleanest way to do this. If the shot, so if the 22 to 33 feet equals that putting distance, then putting distance is distance plus putt distance options. Let's make sure that that is actually in the right order. Putt distance options, parked to C2 long. So it looks like we should be good there. Yeah, as long as I'm using the same index for putting distances and putt distance options. Okay, so I think that one's good as well. I thought that the calculations were off for more of these. I was kind of wondering what I was thinking the last time, but getting these values in. Because I think in the last video, throws versus putts, it just said 100% throws, and putting distances just didn't show anything. And I was wondering what the heck I was doing. But I think I actually did those two right. So now birdie conversion in C2, birdie conversion in C1. Let's take a look at the C1. I think I should be able to tell this. I can remember the round too. Not a birdie conversion. I was in C2 here. It's not in birdie. All right, so that's 1 for 1. From the rough doesn't count. That's 2 for 2. Threw it into circle 2, so that one won't count. OB off the tee. Parked is good. C1 putt made for birdie. It's good there. And then that was circle 2. That was circle 2. That was in the fairway. That was in the fairway. So not in circle 1 for regulation. On both of these I was, and I got the birdies. So I was 100% on the birdie conversion in circle 1. And then was I as good at it from C2? Let's go make sure I'm just calculating them the same way. C1 in regulation on this hole, false, false. That doesn't matter. If circle 2 in regulation, this is true. Birdie conversion rate in C2 attempts plus plus. Birdie conversion rate in C1 plus plus. Putting comeback rates. And so then this should now just be on the birdie, albatross, etc. Aces are not going to count. But albatrosses, if that's true, 0 plus plus, 0 plus plus. And then I should have just copied and pasted those. So I think those are good as well. Okay. Birdie conversions look good. Putting comebacks. Putting comeback rate. So that's just an individual stat. Let's see. It says I was 100%, which the putting comeback rate is intended to just look at if I missed a circle 2 or circle 1 putt, what percentage of the time did I make the comebacker? So what that should mean is that you just don't have any 3 putts. And I do not have any 3 putts here. On Brighton, I did have 3 putts. I had 1 here. Was it only 1? Putting comebacks was 33%. Only 33%. Looks like it should have been much higher than that. I guess let's find the prints here. I do think the birdie conversion rates are good, so let's get rid of that. Total putting comebacks is the one I still want to check. Front 9, back 9, I do still want to check. Let's do a reset here. Let's go back to Brighton. All right, total putting comebacks here is 10 for 11. So it is calculating right here, but it is not showing the right value here. Birdie conversion in C1, 1 for 1, 2 for 2, 2 for 3, 2 for 4, just 2 for 4. So 50%, yeah. Okay, so putting comebacks, it doesn't look like the calculation is correct. Our print statement down here has 10 of 11, which I think is the correct value, but so then we should be getting a much higher percentage there. Let's go back to my individual stat calculations. C2 putting comeback rate. I was curious as to where I was printing it. It looks like I'm just printing it in the single round. Total putting comebacks. Is that the value that I'm passing down here? Haha, nope, it's not. This is probably a good place to check. Every single one I'm passing the right counter except for this one. I never replaced it with bounce backs. So that was silly of me. So let's go grab that. Where's that? Total putting comebacks. Copy that. Come down here, and now let's do a reset. And that value, yeah, 91%. There we go. Okay, so putting comebacks is now proper as well. Still 100% here, but now I'm going to get the higher value there. Penalty rate we did not change. Total strokes 61 matches up above. And then strokes per hole, I'll do the calculation just to make sure that's right, but that should be pretty easy. 3.39, okay. All right, front 9, back 9. So I do think this calculation is wrong. That is the last one we have. So all of the other ones seem to be correct. We had to fix the putting comeback, but the front 9, back 9 is not quite what I want it to be. So the goal here is just to look at scoring. And to say whether you scored better on the front 9 versus the back 9. Maybe no, actually, it is dead even on this, because I was even on the front 9, I was even on the back 9. Let's go look at Creekside. So Creekside here, I was 2 under on the front 9, 3 under on the back 9. Okay, so I might just be calculating on the wrong side. This was around from the Turku pro tournament this past weekend. 3 under on the front 9, 5 under on the back 9, and -2. So it looks like I'm getting the correct value, but the way I'm shifting that line is not correct. I guess we'll fix the math first. So front 9, back 9 metric is -5 here. -3, -5. Okay, and then when I come down here to calculate it, is equal to, okay, so maybe this should be 0 minus 1. So if the back 9 is better, meaning it's a lower number, then it stays. No, this is front minus back. That's the way that I'm doing this. So if the front is better, meaning it's a lower number or a more negative number, then the value will stay negative. It will be on the front side. If the back number is lower, then it will become a positive number. So let's do a reset. That should just be an easy change, yeah, to 2. I want to think about a better way to convey that number. The math is correct at this point, but in terms of, because here we were 1 better on the back, so it's going the right way now, but how do I don't just like saying negative or positive. What does that mean? I guess for starters, we fixed all the calculations. All the calculations are addressed. These stats, although not overly clear, are showing accurate information. So we'll call that a win. We've got new stats in. Add double and history types to multi-round calculations. Is it not already working? Maybe not. Whoa. Okay, we got an error there. All time was working okay. Okay. Found an error. Let's reset. All-time stats is working though. It is working just fine in -34. That seems... I must have had some rounds where yeah, to me this looks like the back nine should be way better. Right, just from like these rounds. That one balances out to even. That one, the back nine was certainly better. Back nine. So the back nine should be way better there. Back nine is substantially lower. I think there's something weird going on with the all-time stats. These might be accurate. Those might be accurate. Might be. Front nine, back nine metric. Birdie conversion rate, 54 of 187. Throws versus putts. All right, one thing at a time, I guess. Let's go to the multi-round calculations. And then I wanted to add the double and history types to these. But I guess where do I use double? Is that where my issue's coming in here? I do have double there. Okay. Noted. So on all round, we need a else if type equals double. Else if type equals history. All right, and then the question of what did I want to do for, what was that history one? It was for the user round score integer. So I am just adding them though. I don't think that actually needs to be a history thing. It's probably just, or no, I did want to, I take that back. For this one, it needed to be an array that I am adding values to, adding strings to. So history is going to be, let's see if addition contains key. Key, we'll try this, is equal to base value cast string, just add. I don't think that cast is going to work. I think let me get ChatGPT to update this. Update the below code to cast base value as a list string, add value as a single string. Probably gonna go for another hour here today. We'll do that. Okay, I think that should work. So what I want this to be is just an array where I add each round score. So it ends up looking like, you know, -1, even, +5, etc. ... Yeah. So I've added those. Now I don't think there's anything I need to do here. I don't quite remember everything I needed to do on this, but we'll go down this list and assume that I knew what I was talking about when I wrote it. It's been a handful of days now. Make sure tournament round score and strokes are only showing on all stats view. So let's go look at this infographic. Stat display infographic is for round display. I'm always passing that to the widget factory. So I just need to pass it here. Okay. Under stat organization, am I passing it here? No, it would be nice to just pass it from there. Where's it coming from? This is for round display. Where do I call? Well, I'm just passing it from the view. That makes sense. So I can just do the same thing in this widget factory. This is fine. And this was tournament round score, which I don't even have on here yet. And the card for rounds included. No, it was further down here. Progress bar, scale. What am I missing here? What am I looking for? Reset. Oh, it's just card and card for double. Hold on. I see what my issue is. So I have card here, and then down here I have card, and card for double. And labels first is not equal to rounds. Stat organization, label rounds, label, where'd it go? Penalty strokes, total strokes. is for round display. And labels first is not equal to that. And labels first is not equal to, no, penalty stroke side. I don't know why I just used that one. I do want to show that. We've got just total strokes here. Total strokes. I don't want to show total strokes. But I guess average strokes per hole is probably fine. I just don't want to show the total strokes here because I'm already showing it up above. Average strokes per hole can stay. No issue with that one. So tournament round score and strokes are only showing on the all stats view. So what I actually need to do now is create a graphic for displaying that overall tournament score. Where do I want that at? Oh, now I'm just getting an error every time I call it. Okay, so my new cast is giving me an issue. Alright, one thing at a time. I need a graphic for the tournament round score. Let's reset so I can at least go look at the round view. I am surprised. Widget factory under that cast. Where was that at? What was I just talking to ChatGPT about? I'm losing it. Combined key. The string. Base value. Oh, that was in the all-round calculations. Okay. It would be nice to maybe I just make a new card for string and pass that, or I did kind of want it to be like a histogram of all the scores. Okay, so let's try this. Let's go to my general segmented. We'll let ChatGPT decipher this and then give me something similar. Simple yes or no. Does the code below make sense? I have a variable of similar structure that I want to pass to a widget. This variable will be an array, a list string of whole scores, i.e. -2, even, or +5. I want to create, I think a histogram is the right graph I'm going for. Let's histogram is accurate. I would like for it to be, no, maybe I roll with that. We can try it. I need the code for a histogram widget to take in these values and be of a similar structure to the code I just shared, can display the histogram accordingly. It also needs to be able to convert those values to integers. I already have a function for this, and then display that value directly below the histogram. All right, let's just call it a histogram. New code here. Copy it. No immediate errors yet, but we'll go adjust some stuff as needed. Parse score. I don't think it's actually taking in all the scores. Final int. Interesting. Does your code sum all of the scores together to display a single total? Didn't I say that directly below the histogram? I wanted another value shown, which was a sum of all the round scores in the array. Where is int scores at? Int scores. Oh, right here. Okay. Okay, we'll try that. Get the sum in there now. Oh, no flutter material in that copy. So we'll just do this. Okay, and then for calling it, it's going to be a new case here. Like so. Let's call it case histogram. And then we're going to, we just call it histogram. I just want to call it histogram. We'll call it histogram with sum. With extra. Just trying to convey that I've got the extra variable as well. Converting key, we'll get to that later. All right. This is going to be histogram with extra. This is what it was passing previously. I want to just pass screen width like I did for all of these. Scores will have to pass. Let's go to the histogram. This is going to be screen width here. We're going to make that required. Screen width required. This dot screen width. All right, and then when we create this, container will be screen width. Was that an individual bar width? Is that what just happened? Height. I see. let's bar width is equal to screen width times, let's just go 0.5 right now, and I think I'm gonna have to make that more dynamic. This will be bar width, and then on this sized box we're gonna add a width equals screen width times 0.95. Give me a little buffer. Adjusting these progress streaks. What's a good example here? Segments, scores. I just want to call this list. I think that's probably a more apt name there. List. Parse. Why is parse score getting passed? I don't think it should. Int function string. Yeah, I'm not passing a function. That's definitely not happening, because I already have the function created. So let me get rid of that. I'm not going to pass that either. Bar max width, bar max height. Yeah, that's still fine. So where else do I have a list of strings? Process data. Stat data cast. Maybe I can do the same thing with this. Does int throw an error? It does. Okay. So if I pass string, that's good. Okay. So I think that's going to be it. And then I just need my functions here for where did I calculate the score? I know I did it elsewhere. I did it on the single round calculations, right? Or, yeah, single round. We've got user round score integer. Integer equals format golf score to int. Format golf score to int. Is that in here? It is. Format golf score to int. So that's what I want here. Format golf score to int. Is equal to list. List dynamic can't be assigned to a variable of type list int. Okay. So in this line of code, format golf score is the function I need to use, which is locate another file. How do I make this spit out the correct list int for int scores? Okay. So am I done? Format a golf score to int, which we're doing all round calculations. If it's history, I'm just adding one to it. I think so. Did I do this correctly? Tournament round score and strokes. Let's do a reset there. I don't know if I actually checked that one yet. getting ahead of myself here. So this one, I'm not showing the tournament round score, but I did not want to show total strokes down here, and I'm not, which is great. So I'll leave that one open just to make sure that I'm doing the same thing for the tournament round score. Graphic for displaying the C1x round grade. That was supposed to come above this. Let's just slide it. We'll keep things going in order. How many rounds at each overall? Now it might be time to start addressing those bugs. So I'll do one more reset, and then let's go here and start plugging away at these. Combine stat maps. Int has no instant method cast. At all round 117. Okay. All right. You gave me this line earlier. When I run this, I get the following error. Why is base value an integer here? Base value should be a list of strings there. So I don't. Map string dynamic base. Under combine stat maps, let's go to the all stats view. All stats. Down here. Stats calculations, multi-round. I'm just calling the function. Let's go back to the all rounds. So that's my combined stat map. So this is where I'm calling it from. I get my single round calculations. And 117 is where I get the issue. So I guess base value equals combined key. Combine equals map from base. And then here, combined key is equal to combined. So let's do this. Let's just, because I don't quite understand what's going on here. Print combined. Yeah, that is not what I want. I want those. All right, let's do a reset and see if I can just get those values printed out for me. Can definitely get them printed out for me. 0, 1. That is a lot. It's hard to, let's do this. Let's go if type is equal to history, because I only want to print it for the histogram one right now, which is where that call is, right? Yeah. It's the one that I think is throwing the issue. So let's reset from that. Now I should get much less of a printout, and hopefully only with the one that I have the issue with. Okay. So user round score integer is equal to 0 because my most recent round was even. Combined base value equals 0. Add value equals -5. Huh. organization. Fairway hits 14, 18, 11, 18. 0, 18, 1, 18. Okay, so I see type equals fraction. Where's stat organization here? Aces is a fraction. What is fairway hits? Fairway hits is an integer. How is fairway hits an integer? I think fairway hit should be calculated the same way that the aces is. Right? Both base and add value should be list int of length 2. Combined key. Why is that happening? But fairway hits isn't. I don't think fairway hit should be an integer. I do feel pretty confident about that. This is going to be an interesting change, but without doing anything else, I'm just going to set these guys equal to fraction. And we're just going to do a reset and see what happens. Let's do one more. Get rid of that output. Go to all stats. Yeah, that looks much better. Okay, so I had some wrong types in there. Okay. So those look how they should now. User round score integer here should not be a number. Combined is from base. What am I passing as the base? Combined stats. Single round calculations. How does it return that? Am I returning it as an integer? I mean, I should be. I should be returning it as an integer. The issue is adding it up. Why is this so hard to wrap my head around? So combined stats is going to be a number, but when I combine them, I need it to be a list. So maybe does single round need to return a list then? But then I'm always going to do combined stat maps. I mean, I guess I updated here then. I think it does. So in single round calculations, we're going to make this user score user round score is equal to and I'm just going to throw it in this. It's going to be an array. So not an integer, but an array. And then I'm returning it here. User round score integer. And then all round calculations is equal to combined stat maps if it's history, which it will be. Then combined needs to be maybe it's just this. All right, let's try it. I don't know. And that's at 123, which I'm sure is this, yeah. List int is not a subtype of type int. Case, base value should be a list int, and add value should be a list int of length 1. I just need to take the value and add value and add and append it to the end of base value. That is what combined key should equal. Try that. Looks like we fixed the issue there. Okay. Part is at 49, I guess 41% aces. So yeah, that actually makes sense. Okay, so no errors currently. Let's go here and make sure I'm still good as well. Now I think we just add the call and see what happens. So I think in the widget factory, we've got our histogram call. This is going to be cast int. Histogram needs to take a list of integers. Int. I've already got this. Let's go final list string. String scores is equal to list.map format golf score to string. To list. I don't need int scores because it's what my list already is. This can be list. This will be list. String original score. This can be list. This can be string scores. I don't know. We'll add the call here. Let's, where do I want that to go? Maybe just put it at the very bottom right now. I'm sure that will be fine. Type histogram. Call it test. I don't know. User round score integer key. Labels is that. I don't know. Let's do a reset. We'll see what happens. See what thing I break here down at the bottom. Okay, definitely got an error. Another typecast issue. And histogram 20. All right, let's feed this to ChatGPT. All right, now I'm passing list to this widget as a list int. So the variable is already a list int, but I need to update labels to be strings. Have the format golf score function already. How do I update this accordingly? See what that does. Still getting an error. Same error. But we can at least feed that back to ChatGPT. It knows the code now. Ooh, we're a little bit laggy here. List int, not a subtype of type int. All right, so now this line gives me is it taking a single int? Is that a thing? Was I in? No, I forget again. Was I in general math here? It's not in general math. Individual stat calculations? Yeah. It takes a single integer. Flow is my format golf score function. It should not be. Yeah, well, it's not going to be the fix I'm looking for. List needs to be a 1D array, but I'm not going to flatten it in the widget. That's not a holistic approach. below is my call to it. Does this make sense? I'm not processing it at all. Which maybe that's my issue, I don't know. Stat cast list int. Saying my cast is fine. Stat data. Infographic. Which I pass. Values. Config keys map. Stat data key. To list and stat organization. Keys label. User round score integer key. I don't know. That is what I'm pretty sure that's what I'm passing down here. Is this returning combined key as a 1D array? Well, I'm printing those out. Aren't I, or did I get rid of? No, I didn't get rid of them. Why isn't it getting called? Should be getting called. These print statements up here. Combined base value, and it's not getting called at all. But the error is getting thrown here. Now I'm confused. So the error is thrown on this line, but this is not called until the case histogram occurs. Now I'm lost here. It's not stat widget factory. All round calculations, right? Yeah. Combined stat maps. Multi-round calculation. So it is showing something's not quite adding up. No. It's not worth it yet. Print stat data. What am I still printing up here? Some individual stats. Let's clear those out. Print. Single round. Print. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Okay. Now let's go reset and then show me what stat data is. Stat data is -5. Printing here. Stat data is a print. This is my issue. Why is it? Why is it though? That I don't understand. Why is it a 2D array? Stat organization, graphic config keys, stat data key. Stat data is a map string. Single round. Returns the 1D array. It's got to be something in that all round stats. Combine stats is blank, then I set it equal to the 1D array, otherwise I'm combining if type is history, which it is. History. I'm never getting these print statements to run, so evidently this code is not even getting to run somehow. But if it's not running, then how do I end up with? Because this is not all time stats. I'm getting this issue right now with the single round calculation. So I guess I need to start there. Print user whole user round score integer. Print that. 1D array. So here it's a 1D array in stat organization. And that is what I'm I don't understand. A little tired today. Too many files open too. Values. But it's only giving me one value too. I guess if is for round display. Just to double check here, so this should at least get rid of the error I'm getting on this view. because it's not going to show it now. But if I go here, oh. Okay. User round score integer is obviously not working. This code needs to take in a list int, create an array of list string using the format golf score function, show a histogram of that list string, and then show a sum of all the values in the list int at the bottom. Is that what this does? I need a full version. Try updating the call here. Definitely ChatGPT can be a crutch sometimes, but it is also definitely nice. Hey, that didn't look right. No, it is not. So the total shows correctly, but the histogram is showing a single value that matches the total. The histograms values need to be from the list string, meaning there should be multiple, not summed together. Okay. Huh. That is what it's passing. Why? Okay. The list is already summed together when it is passed. So in my all rounds, with this line, I'm trying to just add a value, append it to the end of the list, not sum them together. Is that what I'm doing? That's what I thought. So then why am I getting it? Where's it coming from? Multi-round. I guess, like, let's say I filter these a little bit. We go last 5 rounds. That creates another issue. Okay. Not ready for that yet then. Maybe it's an issue with the stat persistence. Maybe I've been thinking about this wrong the whole time. Ooh. I 100% have. So did I just screw up my all-time stats? That is that's my question here. I very well might have. How do I fix this? Because when I load into that all stats view, I'm just loading in the I guess maybe I'll start with trying to fix this issue. Give me a reset. I need to know where it's at. Convert putt attempts to segments. General segmented to 11. Because I don't, I see. I think I see. So I think my issue, well, I thought, I no longer think that's actually true. Why don't they line up? What is my type there? Fraction. Maybe this will work. I don't think so, actually. I don't think so. It's probably a stretch. Well, it's not crashing now, but I am getting this error on the histogram again. But list is already an integer. And why is that? I don't know. I do not know. It's not with the long fraction, though. I do think I fixed that issue. But this is peculiar. I don't want this to look like that. I don't want this to be two-dimensional in the first place. I shouldn't have to make it flat. Below is where I pass list. Which that's weird. So that's working now. I'm just now noticing this. Why is it a 2D array? Stat data looks like this. When I combine them all around, and create stat data, I use this code. Base value is a single array. I print base value and add value, and they look like this. Is it within the infographic? Could this be it? How do I flatten? I guess I will be doing this. So let's go here. We'll go is equal to stat data, and then flat values. This column needs to specify list int. Why stat data dot values? It's just stat data, which is a list dynamic. Okay, let's try that. Still getting maybe just an overflow error. Not showing here. Oh. Widget factory 138. I think the issue is with my all-time values though, which is annoying, but I think I already set it the wrong way. I think I already screwed up. What's gonna be my fix here? Stats calculations. Print all-time stats. Where's that? Is that coming out somewhere? Tis, there we go. So that's my issue. that is my issue. Has erased all time stats. Where is that at? Equal to false. Oh, that was just my check to make sure I only do it once. Let's do this. Let's go. All time stats. Here is a map of the time stats here. Is a map of the following format. I need to erase it if user round score integer is not an array. How do I do that? And oh, I didn't mean to stop it. Dang it. Alright, let's go back here, run it again. So I'm just going to erase all time stats. I don't have a good solution beyond that, which is unfortunate. All time statistics will be reset for everyone due to a bug in a previous version. So I really have to make sure that I am the simple solution here is to get rid of my stat persistence and those all-time stats and just say that I'm going to make the app recalculate them every single time. Which I could do. I'm still not opposed to that. I just am worried that someone's going to score 500 rounds in the app and it's just going to be ridiculously slow. Yeah, so it got reset here. Let's filter it to last 5 rounds though. Yeah. 13, 16 plus 4. Okay, so this is working as intended. We've got my histogram now. Because my thought with the all-time stats too is, let's say I launch the app and then I decide, I come up with more statistics that I wanted to add to the app, which is almost a guarantee to happen. I already have some that I know I want to add down the line. They're just not going to be contained in all-time stats. Like they won't be calculated unless I can. Some of them I won't be able to go back and recalculate for. I can't just reset them every time. I can't do that to the user. So what do I do? All-time stats either need to be scrapped or they need to be more robust for handling newly added statistics. I'm going to make that a problem for a slightly different time. But that being said, this new stat is in. It's not working for the all-time stats right now because I just reset them, but obviously some design changes that will need to come with this. Oh, looks like my screen capture did freeze, hopefully not too long ago. But we've got this histogram now. Total's calculating right. The histogram is not basing it off of the right values. So there's some changes to make here, but I've at least got a graphic that's showing and everything is in the right format. So I think I'm going to call it there for today. Did not get nearly as much done as I'd hoped to, but all of the new stats with the exception of this and the C1x round grid and displaying that are done. They're calculating properly. There's design changes to make, but they're in there. So I'm gonna leave this open. We pick back right up where we left off, probably tomorrow. Keep the videos going this week. But yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. So as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.